But look, we're live.
We're live.
And that's all that really counts now.
And it's the second Wednesday of this week.
Yes. No, wait, the second Wednesday. It's Thursday.
Yes.
Yes, all day.
It's usually Wednesday when we do this.
Right, but today is Thursday.
Or the second Wednesday.
Oh yeah, okay. We can look at it that way, sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome to the second Wednesday
Tech Talk
Live. Yes, and we got Mexican Spec. What's happening, brother man? Charlton Zimmerman, Eli in the Wolverine State. Good chances for Aurora tonight. Also real.
Borealis.
Oh, the Northern Lights.
Yeah. Radiation, solar flares, hurricanes, the whole thing.
Gotcha. Who is Paul? You don't know the whole thing? Come on. I buried Paul. Paul is dead.
It's a Beatles reference. Go.
Yes.
Ask your mother about it.
Yeah, it's like the first conspiracy.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, probably have to ask your grandmother about it.
Probably at this point, yeah. I would start.
Fubar!
Get some air in here.
Yeah. What's happening, man? Dickie Farley, Big Bad Jones, Greasy Garage. KJ Kylie, what's happening, man? It's Thursday, bro. I had all kinds of stuff going on yesterday, and I couldn't get out here to do the live. Josh H. Joe K. A Thursday, yes.
Yeah.
A Thursday. John Iannetta.
And it's Thursday, get a different group of first people in. It's kind of
we may have a different crowd.
Nice.
Or not that our old crowd is. I love our old crowd.
Right.
But our old crowd generally gives us more thumbs up than that.
That's true.
Yeah.
But they're new.
Generally speaking,
they're new.
Show a little more love.
Yeah. They're new. Okay.
Harry's
here. What's going on, bud?
What's happening, man? So what's new and exciting?
A lot of stuff new and exciting.
Let's talk about this.
Okay. Lot of tune work in the last couple weeks. It's pretty much every day. I get emails or phone calls or texts.
You are the tune meister.
It's either it's a JTEC, it's the LS. I want to put in a carburetor, which we'll talk about what we did with that. And a lot of late model Hemi guys put in cams. They put into cams, and then it's the same story. Won't idle, and if they can get it to idle, once they drive it and come to a stoplight, it dies. Right. Well, we have that pretty much figured out. There was only one that I couldn't figure out, but he had something mechanical going on. Besides looking at everything, I'm like, no, this is not computer. This is you did something. You go back and look.
Looks like it was on my Gumby.
Well, it would. Anytime you come off idle, it would just have so much fuel. It's like you missing an O-ring for injector or something, or a bad regulator or something. But it wasn't a tune thing for him to fix. But he's taking it to get that looked at. But we did that. I figured out with my buddy up in Michigan, tuned by Jimmy Jamalonsky. If you're in the Detroit area, you need a tune on your GM product. He's the man. Gen 4 LSs. We can run a carburetor and an electronic trans. Keep the VVT. It's everything with it.
It's like the future meets.
It's the future, and we could do that for it's like $300, and then that's it.
Oh my God!
It's unbelievable. Since if you go to buy the module at GM, it's $1,500, and we could replicate that for you for about $300. So you run your Gen 4 with a carburetor and keep your electronic trans, all that kind of stuff, and what else? And I got the bench harness for the late model Hemis. I got that at the house now, so I can do that. I got people coming over Saturday for tunes.
Nice. You're a popular guy. Nobody wants to talk to me. Nobody comes by.
Well, that's because you moved to the Fortress of Solitude out here for a reason.
That's true. That's true. Let's see. Okay, we did this. Okay. Big Bad Jones, I can't usually catch your lives because of church. Why don't you play them at church?
Right.
We keep things like really GPG. You can just have the whole church. Put us on the big screen.
Put it on the big screen. I'll get up and I'll testify, and we'll do a whole revival right in front for everybody. We
can fit any crowd. Any crowd. It's what we do.
For a price.
Let's see, Judge Fett. I really enjoyed the 3-3 Hemi video. It'd be awesome if you got one. No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. It would just sit around like everything else. I have way too many things. Way too many things. Doing good, Frank Bish. Bill Whitaker, Tony, I bought the same cam bearing removal installation tool you did. It works perfectly. Yeah, it works really good. It's cheap and, it's handy. And then, of course, you'll lend it to somebody and never see it again.
Yeah, don't do that.
Right.
Just pretend you don't even have it when people ask. Or charge them $100 to put in your cam bearings.
New City Carpet. Novice question. But is there any realistic way to increase lash on a hydraulic flat tappet cam?
Increase lash?
Okay, why do you want to increase lash? Is it? Okay, what were the reasons you would want to increase lash? The only reason you would want to increase lash is if you have a hard time starting the engine. Because when it's cold, everything tightens up, so the valves will close completely, and then as it warms up, things expand, and then you'll get the valves to close. I can't think of any other reason why you would want to increase lash.
Yeah, let us know because that's interesting. Yeah.
Yes. Let's see. Holy Car Mods just joined. Welcome. Charlton Zimmerman. I've got a stupid question. I love stupid questions.
No such thing.
My world is a stupid question.
Yeah.
What is the difference between, let's say, a stock 3-3 and a Hemi 3-3? It's not stupid, bro, but it's really simple. The heads. There's a regular stock 3-3 has inline wedge heads, and the 3-3 Hemis that we were talking about had Hemi heads adapted to them. That was the whole thing of that video where I showed where they modified the 3-3 block to fit the Hemi heads. Let's see.
Air LaFleur.
Okay. Thank you for the super chat.
Yeah.
Just built my first engine in my garage and put it in my 74 F100. Couldn't have done it without your insight and knowledge. It runs and sounds great. Awesome, man.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah, you don't have to give me a super chat. That's like
that's
just knowing it, you followed it, and it worked for you is a reward enough for me, bro.
Yeah. Congratulations. Yeah. Have fun with that thing. A 74 F100. That's a cool little truck.
Peter Jimis, zero lash to avoid pumping. Well, he said lash. He didn't say preload. Okay, so if he is talking about reducing preload, I would assume that he's attempting to avoid pumping. But lash is beyond the preload. Like lash should be zero preload and then a gap. So that's why Bill Whitaker, what is the best way to clean combustion chambers and valve guides? Dr. Art, he comes to your house with a brush and
some dentine and
yes.
In the running vehicle, I mean, you water in the intake to clean the combustion chambers so much as the valve guides. I mean, it may do something for the top of the valves if the motor's hot, but the valve guides themselves.
The days of valve guides getting gummed up and sticking are over. That was a product of the way gasoline used to be formulated. So unless you're dealing with a really, really old engine that's never been cleaned and it still has gum on it from the old gas, we used to use automatic transmission fluid or marble mystery oil down the carburetor as it's running, rev it up, make a bunch of smoke, and it'll clean that stuff off of there.
Yeah, if the motor's apart, why are we like?
Rusty Water, can you not just install a harmonic balancer with the crank bolt? Yes, I've been doing that my whole life, but the experts will tell you that that's wrong. That you're going to somehow upset the molecular structure of something and get cancer because you've done that. Okay.
And you have to buy our special installation tool, otherwise you'll damage your $30 balance. Yeah, just if you got to, like on some of the later ones, because they are tighter tolerance, just heat them up a little on the inside. And
well, you got to be careful when you heat them because you get that inertia ring.
Right. And you don't put it in the
want
furnace,
to go crazy with it.
But yeah, a little.
I've been doing it the same way my whole life. You take the damper, you put it on the crank, you line up the keyway, you push it as far as it'll go by hand, and then you take like a brass hammer or a mallet, right? And you go tap, 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 tap on either side of the bolt hole, the center of it, evenly, just tap, 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 tap. until it walks back far enough that you can take the bolt and get at least 2 or 3 complete turns on it, before you go put an impact onto it. And generally what I'll do is I'll get 2 or 3 turns, I'll put a ratchet on it, go another like 2 or 3 complete turns, then you can throw the impact gun on it and zip it away. John, thank you for the super chat, John. I'm installing an electric fuel pump on my truck. This truck has dual tanks. Would installing the pump before the tank valve selector work?
Well, it would only work for one tank.
Right. Yeah, it would only work for one tank.
Yeah, if you're just running on one tank, something wrong with the other tank because that happens. But yeah, you would just run the one tank where you have it before the valve selector.
I don't know why you'd want to do that, John. Is there a reason you'd want to put it between the tank? That doesn't make any sense to me. I would think you would want to just so that no matter what tank you're on, it's going to be pumping.
Yeah, after the valve.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Oh, there's an issue.
Okay.
All right. Or is there? No, there's not.
No,
Okay,
it's not
never
going
mind.
to pump in the other tank if it's before the selector.
I wasn't thinking pumping, but when one tank goes empty, how's it going to pull from the other one? But no, the selector would take care of that.
Yeah.
Ari, the balance on my 235 wasn't threaded, so I had to. Oh yeah, okay, all right. There are some that aren't threaded, yes, but they're rare. Okay, they're very few and far between. Abel D, Tony, Art. I'm on my last straw. House insurance doesn't want to insure me because of my rusty gold, aka parts and project truck in my yard. I need to move to TN.
Come on.
Oh, yeah, come on over, man.
What you could sell your house for in California.
Yeah, your insurance adjuster will come and try to buy it from you.
Right.
This is Tennessee, man. This is the land of cool. Okay, everybody's just cool here.
For what you could sell a house for in California, you take your giant wheelbarrow full of money.
Yep.
You come to Tennessee, and you could 3 times the property have half your wheelbarrow left over.
Yep.
And then you could put up a big ass badass garage to keep all your rusty crap in. Then we can come over to your place and use your shop. So yeah.
It's a brilliant idea.
So yes, please do it. Put in a dyno too.
Now you would think that some advanced thought like that would get more than 37 likes. But it doesn't. It clearly doesn't.
Doesn't.
Okay. Let's see. Joe K, regarding air filter placement, like you discussed on the XJ, what about the design of the leaned back radiator with the air filter in front of it, like a C4, C56 Corvette? There's no room there's no room on there.
Yeah, it's the straight 6. It takes up all the engine bay.
Yeah. The radiator is jammed in there, and then you got the grill right in front of it. There's no place to do anything like that. I love my GT500. Would you recommend building a hot rod engine with a roller cam or go with new flat tappet cam?
Roller. If you can swing it and it's the extra bucks 100 times over, do the roller.
Yep. And it's not just because there's been a rash over the last several years of bad cams and lifters, flat tappets, but things can be done with a roller that you cannot do with a flat tappet. Opening and closing rates, you got much more severe ramps and stuff. Like cam with the same specs, right? Same lift, same duration. Roller versus a flat tappet, then you can have completely different results. You know what I mean? I would definitely go with the roller if you could.
And then Bill Whitaker came back to the Tony. The heads are off and disassembled. 1989 roller 318. The guides are gummed up. Planned on cleaning them with long Q-tip and brake cleaner. Just wanted to know if you have any better options.
No, I mean that's
yeah.
I thought you were talking about an engine that was together. No, yeah, that's fine. Brake clean and I don't know about Q-tip. I mean, I just blast it with some brake clean. Get pretty expensive. Gasoline itself will cut the gum, right? It came from gas and it'll dissolve in gas. So I would just put them in a parts cleaning, like a bucket or something like that. Throw a bunch of gasoline in there, get a brush, and just
go to town
on it, and then you could finish it off with a brake clean blast down the actual guides themselves.
Then you have the leftover gas for your Amazon boxes and whatnot.
Yes.
To get rid of all that stuff. Yeah. Don't put that stuff to waste.
John, thank you. I'm new to this and wanted to see if I could just pump either tank with just one pump. Yeah, whichever tank your selector is pointed to is the one that your pump is going to pull from. So if you've got the pump, let's say up at the engine, let's say using the mechanical fuel pump, it's going to pull from whichever one you select. So it's no different if you put an inline, electric pump.
Todd McCarter, what's up, guys? Hi, Todd.
All right, let's see. You pick one.
Okay. Glenn, Wheelie King 71, gun cleaning, brush cleans, valve guides nicely. I agree, gasoline is a fantastic, easy, obtainable solvent.
Yes.
Yes.
Kevin Finkley is saying Remington rifle carbon dissolver works great for cleaning valve trains. I've never heard of that, but that's a great.
Yeah.
See, that's why I love doing this shit, because you hear of things I've never heard of.
Yeah, yeah.
It never occurred to me.
Gun cleaner, yeah.
Good gun cleaner.
Rusty water. Why would a harmonic balancer dampener wobble?
Probably the inertia ring is no longer centered on the hub, because like a factory damper, 99.9% of them, right, are a steel hub that goes on the crank, and then there's a rubber, like
Insulator.
an insulator, elastomer, okay, and then the outside of that goes a cast steel inertia ring. So the inertia ring is probably slipped a little bit on the rubber, and I would say get another one. Once they go out at all, you can't trust them.
No, because they'll eventually fail. And
a few years ago, I was getting ready to actually film a video, and I had an engine. It was over. It was a long time ago now. I was at the storage unit still, right? Okay. And I had the nose of the car sticking out. So I fired it up, and it sounded good, and it went ring, and it sounded okay, and then it went ring, and I get bang, and then I look, and the damper, the inertia ring come off the damper and shot all the way down to the end, and I'm watching it go all the way down the end of the, and then it hit the building, and then it flew that way. Like, you could not believe how much energy
the speed the thing had. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the late model Corvette guys have a lot of problems with those.
Okay, I fully enjoyed your financial advice finally. Okay. Let's see. How's the Jeep XJ doing, Tony? Tomorrow night, we're going to go. We were just talking about that before we made this thing happen here. We're going to go tomorrow night and make some laps.
It's going to be nice and cool. And
yes.
A good night. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's getting darkish early, though. It's depressing.
Okay. Let's see. Fun with cars. You loved the video I posted yesterday, too. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Not got any views. I'm surprised. Usually those videos get a bunch of views, but we were competing with the hurricane last night. And with YouTube, if a video doesn't go like immediately, they hold it back. So it's getting probably about a third of the views that it usually would. That doesn't have a video usually does. So feel free to go over there and like it and give it the thumbs up, and it'll make speed it up a little bit.
Watch it 5-6 times. Yeah. Olive's here.
Hey, Olive, what's happening? Mexican Spec. Tony, I looked on an eBay type site. They have a box of 10 3157 bulbs that was shipping via $1.35 per bulb. So yes, so a number of people in the comments of that video pointed out that you can buy them cheap on Amazon or you can get them cheap on eBay. But that's not the point. I needed the bulbs then because she was driving home in traffic with the one light out. And, you don't want to have a cop pull you over and give you a ticket for having a light out. And, of course, they find other things to give you tickets for. So the point is, the average person wanting to just change the friggin' light bulb on their car on the way home, that's what it's subjected to. Of course, you can get them cheaper if you buy them online. If you want to wait 2 days for them to show up at your door. But when you need a bulb that day, that's what it's going to cost you. Olive is saying, not much. Tony, I'll catch up on your vid later. Oh, you'll disagree with something, I'm sure, Olive. Roger Wilson, so what's the latest on Dr. Art calling out UT? We're going November 5th, is it?
Yeah, it's whatever that Friday is.
The first Friday in November.
Friday in November.
We're going to go duke it out.
And you probably won't see me here after that because he's going to get mad.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not a sore winner, bro. And I won't look down on you. It's fine. I understand.
Okay.
I mean, you'll choke or something.
Something, yeah.
Right, and that's fine. I won't look down on you.
Okay, and you have the dog sitter, and there's the moon's not aligned with Jesus, or nothing's going to happen.
It's all okay. It'll all be good.
All right.
It's only going to take what? I mean,
it's only going to take me about a little over 6 seconds. It's going to take you about 8.5. So
we've gone much faster than that.
You haven't driven it in 2 years.
It's like falling off a horse or riding whatever it is. You don't forget. That's no problem.
Okay.
It's easy. I just that car. You just point it and shoot. There's nothing to it. You know what I mean? Like the nitrous comes. It's automatic.
Mm-hmm.
You ever show you how I have that hooked up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I use a brake light switch.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as you touch the throttle, wham.
On. Yeah.
All of it. Take all the nitrous.
Mm-hmm.
So the auto parts stores are now convenience stores. Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, you can buy a hot dog at Kroger. You can buy one at 7-Eleven. There's going to be a price difference. Tools and truck. What's that Carlos fool doing at Ram? Dodge was a good truck. Bring Ram back to U.S. owners so they can cut customers.
There's something going on.
They are cleaning house.
Yeah, I
starting with Carlos the Vampire and all his minions all the way down. There's going to be just the whole top floor of that building will be vacant for probably 72 hours.
Well, I've been following along on there's a channel called TK's Garage.
Yeah, I watch. Yeah.
Oh, you watch him too? Mm-hmm. So I've been following along this whole thing with Stellantis on his channel. There's a lot of conflicting information, and it's like the only criticism I have of TK's Garage is I think he jumps the gun on reporting.
Oh, a little?
Just a little bit, and he doesn't have to do a double introduction to the video. Stop that, TK. Just start your video.
Yeah, just start talking.
Just start talking. But I say that with love, man. If I watch your channel, I enjoy it. You seem like a really good guy.
Mm-hmm. That's it. That's your shtick. He gets everybody a little revved up, you know. But I mean, he's kind of like the Alex Jones when it comes to that. Eventually, most of it's probably pretty much true.
Oh, but Alex Jones, you just wait 5 years and it's all true.
Yeah.
Abel D, Tony Art.
Hi.
Oh, geez, what happened there? Okay. Can I get some Tennessee real estate advice? Where do you recommend areas in Tennessee that are rural but not too far from the city? Prefer something 2 acres and up. Rockvale, Woodbury.
Yeah, Bell Buckle, anywhere. War Trace.
Bell Buckle, War Trace, Manchester. Oh, geez. What you're describing is like this hundreds of square miles right around where we are.
Yeah.
That is everything that you're describing.
Hop on a plane and come for a couple days.
Yeah.
And it'll all take you. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Holy Car Mods. Have you guys ever done a wheel stand on a car? And would it be too costly to build a car to do that?
Like a wheel stand, like a car that'll pull a tire?
You're talking about like a wheelie car? No, I've never driven a wheelie car. Like I've done countless little wheelies, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But never,
like purposely, like from all the way down, yeah.
Yeah, I've never done a bumper dragger, if that's what you're talking about. Would it?
That's a special kind of crazy, I think.
Oh, you ever seen the wheelie contest at Byron?
Yeah.
Those guys are nuts.
Man, they're flipping over backwards.
They don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trash it. That's what it's
Zero. F's given. Just full send, flip it over backwards, go, go, go. Those guys are awesome. But I've never never dragged a bumper. As far as like, just doing wheelies, this is a copy of what I got on Bottle Rocket. It's a stock suspension car with dead front shocks. It wheelies all day long.
Yeah.
It even wheelies without nitrous. Let's see. Jay's philosophy. I used to live in Sweetwater. I'm not familiar with Sweetwater.
Heard of it, but I have no idea where it is.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
What?
Did it die?
Are we dead? No, it's. I mean, timer's clicking, but they stopped. No,
Well, there's no likes. That's where it's dead.
Gosh.
I'm looking at that, Dr. Art.
I know. I mean, even Olive's here, but there's only 60 likes.
Yeah, it happens whenever you're on. I mean, I'm not saying there's a
here, let me go
correlation.
over here for a few minutes.
I'm just saying,
See
if
if
I
the
have,
thumbs
like-
go up now.
YouTube channel Rick Spicer for Prime Minister. I like wheel standards. Really like the school bus one. Oh yeah, I remember that one. Thunderbird 68 is here. Get the party started. Okay.
Nice.
Fun with Cars, Tony. I always get bolts from the salvage yard. Yes, and next time I go to the salvage yard, I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to go pick a bunch of 3157s. But I don't know. It just didn't occur to me to go get those bulbs ahead of time. Mike Fredericks, what's happening? Let's see.
Here's a good question. Joe K. Tony, what do you do with the gas in your cars that sit? Mrs. Landy, Bottle Rocket, etc.
They're generally on fumes by the time I park them. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, really. Bottle Rocket's out of gas. I know that because I ran it out of gas pulling it in here.
Mm-hmm.
Sledgehammer probably still has half a gallon in it or thereabouts. I don't put much gas in them. I put just enough gas in the things to do what I'm going to do, and then it just sets. Benjamin Patterson, finally got my truck back and got it inspected. I got the kingpins changed and it feels a lot nicer on the road. Would you guys have any idea why it would be backfiring? The wipers are vacuum operated. Oh God. I have no idea why.
Yeah, well, it's backfiring. That could be 10 things.
Yeah, exactly. There's way too many things. I mean, if you could be a little more specific as to when and how it backfires, we could probably
narrow it down a little for you. Yeah. And backfiring through the carb or out the exhaust. Yeah.
Do you remember Evel Knievel's wheelie car?
Yes, I had one of those toys as a kid.
But was it real? Yeah, I know that one, the Kenner SSP.
Yeah.
Yeah, but was there an actual Evel Knievel wheelie car? Because I don't recall.
I think there had one, but I'm the same way with you. It's too long to
go. Michael Schmidt, Nitro.
Mm-hmm.
Tony, can you explain what would be required to convert a daily gas car to 25, 30, 40% nitro at the track? In general, how much bigger jet is required? It's not, okay? Nitro and gasoline are not compatible. Nitro and alcohol are compatible. Now, I've seen people run gasoline combinations with nitro on a dyno, okay? I don't recommend it. I definitely don't recommend trying to pull it through jets. If you're going to do anything, do it fuel injected. But even then, nitro is a completely different type of liquid. Nitro has the same just about the same specific gravity as water. When you pour nitro, it literally pours like water. It's not a light fuel. With gasoline, it'll be very detonation prone. So alcohol is compatible with nitro, and alcohol is used as like a fuse to light nitro. That's the reason why you use alcohol on a nitro motor, just to make it easier to fire. But I would not recommend messing around with alcohol, with gasoline and nitro. I don't think you're going to see any benefit. You're probably going to end up hurting your pistons.
Hurting. Yeah, something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Benjamin Patterson, it backfires back in the carb. When it does, the wipers move a little. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Do you think it might have something to do with vacuum lines? Probably not. Try advancing the timing a couple of degrees and see what happens. Accelerator pump. Make sure the accelerator pump in your carburetor. So look down the carburetor. Okay, open a throttle, and you should see a stream of or two streams of gasoline as you move the throttle. That's your accelerator.
Before you start.
Before you start. Right. If you don't see two healthy streams, you may not have enough accelerator pump. That'll cause lean condition when you open the throttle, and it'll backfire up through the carburetor. If you do see two streams there and it's backfiring up to the carburetor, it probably means that you don't have enough ignition timing. So if you see an accelerator pump, you got action for the accelerator pump, then bump the timing, let's say 4 degrees or so, 4 or 5 degrees, and then take it for a ride. Now, those two things are going to, one of those two things is going to be it.
Yeah, through the carb. Yep, it's lean pop or timing.
Tools and Truck is saying intermittent backfire wipers, awesome. Yeah, I would. That's pretty cool. Boof, boof, boof. I like that.
While we're waiting for this to populate, what's going on? What'd you have happen this week? Besides dog stuff and whatnot.
Screwing around motorcycles. I can't get my head into anything else.
Okay.
I can't get my head into anything else. So I've been working on that Virago and riding that around and cleaning it and fixing little things here and there. And then I just made a tip that I showed you.
Yeah, it's a freaking cool exhaust.
Yeah, I fabricated a tip for my Buell. It's badass. And but yeah, that's it, man. I can't help it.
Everything else is like,
I'm going through like my third childhood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fourth child. No, this is fifth childhood. Yeah, it's crazy, but I keep going through them.
It happens. We all did that. I think that's what I've been doing for the last 7 or 8 months. Yeah, that's okay.
Let's see. War Ghost, did I hear the word Virago? Yes, I added a Virago to the fleet. Ugly, weird, but happy bike, man. Happy bike. I've been riding it around the back roads here. I got to put tires on it. Like I'm really an idiot for riding it the way it is. But I crashed them before. So yeah, it's an 82 750 Virago. It was a parts bike, and I got the thing running, and it's just so sweet and so happy that I got to keep it. Adding it to the fleet. Fun with cars. We used to take the unused nitro fuel from the cars after a weekend of racing and pour it on the asphalt and burn it off. It was awesome. So stock eliminator racers used to, this was a thing, let's say like around 1980, 80-ish early, and I don't know if it actually worked or not, okay? But stock eliminator racers would run a dual PCV system. They put 2 PCV valves, and they would take the nitrated oil out of fuel cars. So when you take the oil out of a nitro car, let's just say you put 10 quarts of oil in, okay? Well, you're going to take 12 quarts out, because there's that much liquid nitro gets blown past the rings, and it becomes homogenated with the oil. So the oil looks like it looks like, what's that color? It's like the same color as peanut butter, right? Same color as peanut butter. And the stock eliminator guys used to take the nitro from the oil from the nitro cars and run it in theirs, figuring that as the engine got hot and it ran, the nitro vapors would fill the crankcase and get sucked into the PCV system. Now, whether it worked or not, I don't know, but it was a common thing. Like I said, like early 1980s is when I remember discussions and stuff.
Like the hopeful nitro adder PCV
yeah.
valve.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whether or not it worked, I have no idea. But that is something that they did.
But that's how they get all the water out of the methanol cars. They flip them over to gas, get them hot. And then all that extra water vapor burns off. So I guess, yeah, it would.
Tools and truck. What about them VMAX? Boy, yeah, I've ridden a couple of VMAXs. My friend Brandon has a VMAX. Yeah, no, I don't need a VMAX. I don't need a VMAX. I want to keep walking. My Buell's got like 103 horsepower. That's enough. It's plenty. It's plenty.
Rocco. Tony, I picked up a clean 1997 XJ last week. Overpaid, but I'm ready for the apocalypse.
You certainly are.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just remember, you can convert all of the carburetor and distributor stuff from the early Jeep AMC engines all the way back to 1965. They're all, you can
Bolt it
intake
right on.
manifold and drop a distributor in it, and there you go, apocalypse mobile.
That's what I got coming over Saturday to the house. Now his is a 98 XJ.
Okay.
He's right up in Kentucky. He's like, go could have come down. All right. Yeah. Come on. Bring your money.
Okay, Beaumont resident. We recently installed a fully rebuilt 3-deuce intake manifold, Rochester carburetors, set up on our modified 283. Having trouble getting the timing to vibe with install. Training suggestions. Offhand, I don't.
Yeah,
Offhand,
it's a little more information. Yeah.
More information. Yeah, what's it doing wrong? Vibing, it doesn't really. It doesn't tell me very much.
It's real easy to have a 3.2 carburetor setup give you a lot of headache until you get it dialed in right. So
Thunderbird 68, our 95 Cherokee is the one with the bad computers. No, 96s.
yeah, 96s. 95s are OBD1. You can still find those.
Let's see. Technical question, Tony. Have you got a favorite rule of thumb for piston ring gap to stop it smashing the ring landings? A few years back, I ruined one piston due to a miscalculation. Dude, you go by with the ring. When you open the package of rings, it'll give you the gaps. And now, see, that's the thing. I don't know if they do it anymore, because they used to give you a gap for naturally aspirated and then supercharged, and then right.
You got to check your oil.
Yeah,
It's
they're all different though. So that's the thing. They're like different composition rings are going to have a different,
expansion rate.
Expansion rate. So
right, it's you contact your ring manufacturer.
contact the ring manufacturer.
Yeah.
Don't listen to like just random advice you get from somebody like me, because it may get you in a lot of trouble. Okay. Beaumont resident. At high idle, it roars. At low RPM, it pops and almost sounds like it's about to skip a tooth.
Does that sound more carburetor than intake?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So the carburetor setup that you have, are these 3-deuce specific carburetors, or are they
3 random 2 barrels?
3 random 2 barrels? 2 GCs, I assume they would be.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's kind of important. That's kind of
real important. Yeah.
Tools and truck. What motor was on the Conquest TSI? Turbo Mitsubishi. Smaller version of what was in the Omni that kicked ass? No, the motor in the Omni was the regular 2.2 Chrysler built. The 2.6 is the one that I believe that was
in the Conquest.
In the Conquest, right?
Yeah.
Which was a great motor. They put those engines in everything. I worked on a ton of them.
And you could run that turbo. I mean, you could mat that car For 100 miles, it did not care. Just woof.
It's Mark Sauvé. You guys are confusing me. I thought the live was on Wednesday. Dude, we're just playing with you.
Yeah, we did this all for you, dude.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You nailed us down, man.
Yeah, trick or treat.
You got it. Yeah, trick or treat. Yeah. Or April Fools.
Either way.
Either way. We got you, Mark.
Mhm.
We got you. FEMA published a manual for that.
How to make a gasifier, make a
Oh, yeah,
run
yeah,
off
yeah.
wood smoke. Yeah.
People keep bringing that up. I've never, I've seen it, but I've never experimented. You ever play with something like that?
I understand it, but it seems just ridiculous.
It doesn't seem like, I know it's not going to make any power. I
Right.
know it'll run. Right?
Yeah.
There's no question that it'll run.
Those unburned hydrocarbons in the smoke will make it run.
Yes, but there's not going to be any power. So it's like if you just want to get something to idle or perform just the
Blah.
basic tasks that it can based on flywheel inertia, that sort of thing, then yeah, man, go ahead, build a gasifier. But as far as like,
You'd be better off with propane if you want to do something.
probably
like
better for propane.
that.
And okay, it's for home generators. Yeah, all right. So I can see a home generator as long as you're not really loading the thing down. So the reason I say that is because anything that's run off of vapor, okay, and when I say, okay, maybe that's the wrong. A vapor gasoline or just a vapor run engine, there's no duration to burn, okay, which is like that's the problem with like the guys who try to do the hot vapor engines. The smoke unit played with one, had all kinds of problems with it and basically gave up after he tried 1,000 different versions of it. And there's still people who try to build hot vapor engines. The problem with it is for a conventional gasoline type internal combustion engine, you need two distinct states of fuel in the combustion chamber for it to work. Okay, so you need the vapors. The vapors are what light. The spark plug lights vapor. Poof. Okay, but then the vapor expends itself almost instantly. Okay, so it's a pop. Right. The piston is barely on its way down by the time all of that vapor's energy has been expended. Right. You'll get a good push off top dead center, let's say, but you're only going to go a few degrees past under power. And remember now, as the piston is moving closer towards the halfway mark, closer to 90, it's accelerating. So it's actually trying to run away from the flame front. And that's where the second state of fuel comes in. And that's the droplets. And the droplets are there, the fuel that isn't atomized by the heat of, let's say, the intake valve and the combustion chamber that it comes in contact with. The fuel that isn't vaporized stays in droplet form and it burns slower. So the vapor gets the piston moving off top dead center, but then the droplets ignite and they keep expanding at the same time that the piston is accelerating towards the 90-degree mark. So that's where the power is. It's like follow through. And a vapor engine, even like a gasifier, whatever vapor you're running the engine off of, expends itself too quickly. And there's no follow through, so there's no real power. Does that make any sense? Does that make sense?
Yeah, you get 10 degrees of oomph, and then the rest is wasted.
Right. The rest is right.
Yeah.
Relic to wreck. Why is my 76 Marquise losing brake fluid from the rear reservoir, even though nothing ever shows up on the ground? Cooking fluid in the drums. I have to top it off every 500 miles or so. Have a great night. It's leaking at the back of the master.
Yeah, and it's probably leaking down the backside of your inside of the car and into the carpet.
No, it's a Marquise, so it's got power brakes.
Oh yeah.
So it's what's happening is it's being burned. Okay. If you see any smoke in your exhaust, it's brake fluid. So what's happening is the fluid is seeping out the back of the master cylinder. It's getting into the booster, and the booster is burning it in the
sucks it out with the vacuum.
Right, sucks out with the vacuum. Corey Melvin, is this really live or is it Memorex? It's completely an illusion, bro.
Yeah, it's all digital hooey.
Yeah, remember the shrooms you were experimenting with back when you were a kid? This is one of the side effects.
When you're sitting on the couch with your Doritos, this is what happens. We appear.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's why they tell you, don't mess with hallucinogens, because we show up later on in your life.
Rocco, Tony and Art, if you could be anywhere right now at any time, where would you be? I mean, that's like a full. If we were somewhere else, we couldn't read the question. So.
I mean, I want to try to answer the question. It's
Okay.
not tech. It's not tech related, but
No.
I mean, that is a good question. Yeah, you go first.
30 years ago? Anytime 30 years ago?
30 years ago was a good time.
30 years ago, and not forget all the shit that's, kicked my ass the last 30 years, and I'd be set like a fish.
I don't know, where would I want to be?
Yeah, I mean,
if I could be anywhere, anytime right now, it would be 1979, Englishtown, Wednesday night, Crazy Eddie's Fuel Funny Car Freakout. Yeah, that's where I would be.
Mm.
Those were great times, man. Those were great times.
Tools and truck. This is a new one for me. Why is the Ford 5.0 injectors an upgrade on the kegger manifold on the 5952 Magnums?
Are they? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, and I've never heard of that, but doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
If they are, it might be because they have a larger orifice. I don't know. Maybe they have a bigger spray pattern. I don't know.
And is the Camera 5.0s or the old, Fox Body 5.0s different? Yeah, different setup. Yeah, because on the stock 5-liter old Fox Bodies, they're 19-pound injectors. That's no big deal.
Let's see. Well, I feel like Tony would rather be fishing. No, I'd rather actually have an elbow surgery. Either of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Relic to wreck. Ever see a runaway diesel in person?
Yep.
I haven't.
Oh yeah, that's gonna fucking blow. Let's go over. Wait for the show. Yeah.
I've seen runaway nitro cars.
Ooh.
Yeah. But I've never seen a runaway diesel.
Yeah, the turbo loses its seal and it just pumping oil and it just all kinds of RPM. But if something that doesn't do RPM.
It happens on a nitro car. When one of the check valves for the fuel return sticks. So what happens is you go to shut it off, but it's still pulling vacuum through the nozzles. So it's sucking fuel from the tank, and then you just can't shut it off. Ever have a carbureted engine that would rev in neutral but not respond in drive? Yeah.
Yeah, it's
tons of them. Literally just had that happen on that Virago, and I did a video about it. Idled perfectly, but it wouldn't take any throttle whatsoever. And in the case of that bike, it was a clogged vent to the float bowl. Justin Billington, nitro car don't turn off by ignition. They have, so they started mandating shutoff switches. I guess around 1990, 1991, 1992. And of course, that had to be SFI specific shut-off switch, which costs like $300 friggin' dollars. You couldn't just put
You put a diesel
Right.
cutoff switch, yeah.
yes. But no, you really shouldn't. You got to starve them of fuel. You're supposed to starve them of fuel because once the heat is in the chamber, they will run like a diesel. I have seen back in the single mag days, like before they went to dual mags and all that. I have seen numerous times fuel cars be halfway down the track and the fire goes out, but the car still runs and runs relatively normal. That's because the mag would go out. The transformer would break off, or the mag would just take a dump, and it will run without once it's under load and it's got all the fuel poured to it and it's got the heat in it, like halfway down the run and it's under load, it will just motor on through like there's no problem.
It's like an RC engine with a little glow plug, but the head's warm enough to.
Yep, exactly, like a RC engine. And Fubar just put the link to my merch. Thank you, Fubar.
What do you got on today?
I have. What am I wearing today?
It's not how fast you go; it's how you go fast.
It's not, and you'll find that out on the 5th, or whatever it is that when you and I line up with our
Is
vehicles.
there a special lane for the handicapped vehicles that you're going to take, or?
No, I'll take any lane. I don't care. I'm just gonna back it off the trailer, pull it right into the staging lanes, and send it. And you can just follow me through. You follow me, I'll show you the way.
Okay.
Mexican spec, do we need to choose size? Of course you do.
Of course. And you need to put money on it.
Yes. Let's see.
Boomer, Dr. Art, if you need miscellaneous parts for Big Richard, the YouTube channel Adventures Made from Scratch has a 65 through 67 pickup. He has a few episodes ago. He's from Hutchinson, Kansas. No, I don't really need. I managed to source all the parts for that thing we dragged out of a swamp, basically.
Speaking of dragging out of a swamp, Zero has arrived.
Zero. From the depths.
From the depths. J. Russell Fitch, small crack, 1/2 inch long, on a rare head, combustion chamber exhaust valve. Do you suggest welding or pinning? Rare head? Okay, so if it's a rare head, I recommend you spend the money, right? If it's a relatively common head, then
Throw it away, get another one.
Yeah, I would weld it. I would just weld it. I've pinned and I've welded, and I find that the welding is just so much easier, and faster, and it's kind of foolproof. But if it's a rare head, I would say spend the money. Take it to used to be a place in New York called High Speed Salvage. Al Mathon, and he used to do that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's a rare head,
He agrees.
valuable stuff, yes.
Sometimes you just got to.
We don't usually have valuable parts in our cars.
Right. I avoid valuable parts at all costs. I mean, I think there's a pun in there someplace. I avoid valuable parts at all costs.
Ta-da-da.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe that's a new shirt. Kathy! Quick, write this down. Yeah.
Mark, but then how much value does the head lose since it's been welded? Repaired. If it's been done right, you won't know.
No. Yeah.
You won't know.
You don't tell anybody, you're fine.
Mexican Specs says I pay his salary, so he has to back him. Sorry, Doug. Yeah, but yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So if you want to start paying, he'll just go to whoever pays him. He doesn't care.
People get paid by you?
No.
What? I was going to say, what?
Actually,
What?
He gets a short stick on everything because the other guys, Kathy will send him things, but he's down in Mexico, and it's like, We
Oh.
can't afford to send stuff
Oh,
to
okay.
Mexico.
He has to take the trip up
Yep.
to across the border to get a T-shirt, which is relatively easy now. I mean, anybody can do it.
Oh yeah, as long as you're not a citizen, you can just come right over.
Right, and you probably get a check for it.
Yeah. I wonder what would happen if we just renounce our citizenship, run down to the border, come up here. They'll set you up a whole new life.
Well, that's what they were telling. That's what the idiots that are in charge now. They said all these people from North Carolina go to Mexico, change clothes, come across, go eat, and then you get food, hotel, bank account, a new green card, voting card. Yeah.
And if you go to California, they give you a down payment for a house. They have a program now for illegal immigrants
To get
get houses.
So to get $1 million house in California that's 700 square feet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let's see. Dr. Art for the win. Oh, you got somebody, bro.
Yeah. Thank you, buddy.
Buddy Carafano.
He's a buddy. He's my buddy. Aha.
Buddy, your buddy?
Yeah.
He thinks that your rig is going to hold together long enough to.
Oh, mine is going to hold together. You cut so much off that car. There's only like one rivet that holds the whole thing together. If that thing breaks, it's just 12 pieces.
That car is solid. I would drive that thing.
Where? Not in the rain.
Well, look, it's got a locked rear, but I mean, and it doesn't have wipers. But that's besides the point. I mean, you realize you're going to have to. First, you understand, right? The bottle rocket has much untapped potential.
Yeah.
Okay.
So does it my Turbo Ranger.
But
okay.
bottle rocket has huge amount of potential with a margin of error this big. You see what I'm saying? Like I could throw like probably another 100 horse at it, and everything is overbuilt.
You're going to need to
handle it. I won't have to.
But you need bigger
yours,
jets.
on the other hand, I believe, is right there. Okay, the way you've been running it, right? I think that's right there. I think that you're at where that thing is going to function without breaking itself and without like blowing tires off and shit. Whereas my car, huge margin. I have huge margin. I could double the spray. I could literally double the amount of spray that's there, and every bit in the loop is up to the test.
Okay. Do it then.
We'll see what happens.
Put 2 bottles in yours.
I don't have to. I know how fast your deal can go.
On 9 pounds of boost. And all I can do is go and turn it up.
I don't even have to do that. I just got to stuff on the gas.
Yeah.
I mean, Ranger is going to gap me. Not a prayer, bro. Not a prayer. But Buddy really believes in you.
Good. He's the only sensible person on the chat, Bert.
Bottle Rocket is an inspirational car. I love that thing. I mean, I just don't use it. I don't run it. I should, but I just have so many things in my head. Zero saying DeFeo. I can only choose DeFeo. Yes.
Mark Sauvé, I had a butchered Holly carb, was cutting the choke horn off. Then I ran the list on it. It's a 69 302 Z20. Got sick to my stomach. Yeah, well, finish what you were doing because it's, the value's gone now. Enjoy your.
That's a shame, man. Yeah. That's a shame. Rocco is saying any B-body sedan that can lift a tire like Bottle Rocket will take you to Gapplebee's. You notice it spun the tires that whole time. That it was, I mean, that's why we had the double wheelie, because it was black tracking and heading across the track while it did the double wheelie.
You barely beat a fat redneck in a full-size pickup truck.
It was black tracking. Want me to show you the video?
I was there.
It was black tracking all the way through first. Please, are you kidding me? I should have done more of a burnout. And the track was ice cold. Remember, we were the first.
Yeah, it was.
First
Well, and it's Buffalo Valley, which sucks.
Buffalo Valley, which is rough anyway, and
Right.
uphill.
Yes.
Bill McKinsey saying Bottle Rocket has already beat 1 Ford truck, so I'll bet on it happening again. Yeah, she has a thing for Ford trucks.
Well, Bill put $5 up, so let's see what's everybody else putting up.
Yeah, we got to see what the side action is going to be. But if you can find out, Tony only beat Jamie because Jamie's axle broke. Listen, this is drag racing, street racing, whatever you want to call
Doesn't
it.
matter.
Grudge racing, okay? Here's the fact. I gapped Jamie by 46 cars, okay? That's the fact.
We don't know what else would have happened, could have happened, should have happened.
Right.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Grudge racing, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I gapped him by 46 cars, and that is how the record stands. Joe K, do you think Bottle Rocket will be a Hellcat swap E-body? I don't know. It might. It depends on the car. I just know that I can beat him. I don't know if I can beat just any random. But just saying. Don't let this get in your head, Dr. Art.
Oh, well, there's nothing in here. Look, it's fucking empty. It doesn't matter.
Don't let any of this stuff get in your head, whatever you do. Because I know, man, you're gonna want to like tweak with that thing. You're gonna want to like.
The only tweaking I have to fix the window. Yeah, it's all done.
A little more this, a little more that. I know that's cool, but you really need to refrain. Go easy because you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to be sitting there slipping and sliding or throwing parts out of it. God only knows what that thing's ready to puke, right? You got so many connections. You know, like there's so many things under the hood. You got stuff going this way and that way and the other way, right? And they're all connected with all these things.
Yeah.
So many places where stuff.
That's technology.
I know. So many places that you have so many failure points. Wow. Joe K, part of the battle is Tony must know how Dr. Art drives. I've seen him drive.
Yeah.
And you're saying, yes, whatever you do, don't go looking for more power. That's where you run into trouble. Power is evil. Power is bad. You know, you have to hold back.
Hold back. Why don't you pull a couple plug wires in and
you've got the desire. You've got the desire for more power, but you know that's Satan talking to you. Let's see. Chongo. In the final throws of my 3-team poly to 440 swap of my 62 Dart, California shit that didn't fit is a truer statement now than ever. Parts advertised, purchased, always need customized and to fit. I know.
Yeah.
But that's the nature. That's the nature of drag racing.
Mm-hmm.
Buddy Crofano is saying Bottle Rocket will break again. Did so many times in the past. While I was working the bugs out of it, yes, absolutely. It was a very trouble-prone car in its early stages, but it's made several runs now that, I mean, nothing, not a lick of problem with it. It's pretty bulletproof, bro.
Donald Hall says you need new tires. You don't need new tires. Those are fine.
I think they are.
Yeah, Sledgehammer need new ones. You put new ones on that.
The ones on Sledgehammer are hard as a rock. But
yeah.
I think the ones on Bottle Rocket are fine. They've really never been exposed to the weather.
They're
always inside.
Yeah.
Joe K, yes, Bottle Rocket needs the bottle part. Well, it's right in the name.
That's the name of it.
It's right there in the name. Bottle Rocket. It means something. No, that thing, so the mistake I made with that car was trying to make the 4-speed work. That was just wrong. It was just wrong. But the purpose of the car was a little bit different. The concept of it when we first got started was to be able to really drive the car and take trips with it. It was like a power tour type of thing. And then once I really got into it, I says, no, this car is just dedicated to go in a straight line. You know what I mean? That's it. And so it was just, we got off to a weird start with the 4-speed, swapped it over to automatic. That thing has not skipped a beat since. So I remember there's the what you see, what we filmed, but I took that car out by the old shop and ran it through the gears so many freaking times. It's like I know I have ultimate confidence in that car. You pick one.
I got one here.
Okay.
It's up here. Caesar, what do you think is the most underrated Mopar?
Underrated, the 383.
The car itself, not the motor.
Oh. Underrated in what way? Performance wise
Or just like people go,
Tomorrow, so I don't think anybody really cares.
Okay.
Yesterday morning, I was on my way here and I was coming up Broad Street and I passed Maxi Muffler.
Yeah.
And there was a pristine black 75 Roadrunner.
Okay.
You familiar with those?
Yeah.
Okay. Sitting there. So I stopped, I talked to him, I got the owner's number. We were going to shoot it today, but we're going to shoot it tomorrow morning. So now you want to talk about underrated Mopars. They like undervalued, under-recognized, 75 Roadrunner. And we're doing a video on one tomorrow morning. Yeah, there you go. Found one. Mike Batista, 8th Mile, Bottle Rocket beats the Ranger. Bottle Rocket is set specifically for 8th Mile. That's what the car is built for. That's what all of the racing around here is. And that's the standard distance for street racing anymore. So everything on that car is specifically geared towards 8th Mile.
Yeah, the quarter mile stuff is kind of
doesn't happen here.
Yeah, not down here. No.
Holy car mods, Tony. Since a Ford truck will not win against you, do you think a Ford Ranchero might have a chance to win? It depends on the Ranchero.
Yeah.
Old McDonald's has a car. Just came in from watching the Northern Lights. What did I miss?
Where are you that you can see the Northern Lights? Because last summer we could see them here.
Somebody posted a picture. I think it was on Facebook that they were in Shelbyville.
Mm-hmm.
But locally, and they had a picture of the Northern Lights.
Yeah.
They were not very bright, like purple.
Yeah, real faint.
Yeah, real faint.
Yeah, that's the last summer they those were days for that here too.
Mark Sauvé, insurance and downtime is what caused most tracks to go 1/8 mile. Not true here. Like in Tennessee, the tradition has always been 8th mile. That's the thing. Like the only quarter mile tracks that I know of in Tennessee, right, are Bristol, obviously, which is 300 miles from here.
5 hours that way.
Yeah.
And then Memphis, 3.5 hours that way.
Right. And there was one in Lakeland, Tennessee, that was quarter mile. But no, Memphis isn't even there anymore.
The Memphis Motorsports Park is
No.
not? No. Oh,
No.
okay.
No, and everything else is 8th mile.
Yeah.
Thunderbird 68 is saying we've been having great Northern Light shows here in Alberta recently. Oh, you're
Way up. Yeah, way up there.
your next door neighbor is
Santa.
right. Mark Sauvé, mind you, I prefer 8th mile. Bro, I never want to see another quarter mile for the rest of my life. If I never ever see another 1,320 foot track. It's all too soon. I am truly an 8th mile believer now.
Because after the 8th, you're just hanging on.
You just listening to your car hurt itself.
Yeah.
That's all you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You're just sitting there from 660 to 1,320.
Waiting for that to
in high gear, just waiting for stuff to just come out of it.
Overheat and explode and
right.
throw on the ground. Yeah.
Right. It's pointless. Completely useless. 8th mile. It's all done in the 8th mile. Old McDonald has a car. Make it a 16th mile track, and you might see a human beat a few cars. Possibly. No, you see, that's the thing, right? 16th mile would be too short. Okay. All of the action happens by like, in other words, like there's still plenty of things to happen past the 300-foot mark. You know what I'm saying? Plenty of things happen between 300 and 660 feet. So no, the 8th mile is just a perfect length. Next, I'll be supporting roll racing. I tell you the truth, I could see the case for roll racing. I'm not gonna say I'm completely down on it. It's not something I participate in.
You just gotta have the space for it. Most tracks around here don't.
Yeah. Zero saying roll racing is for the kids.
Yeah.
And hip hop music.
Rock
and street takeovers.
Yeah. You're right, the 16th mile. 16th mile would be good for the 80s 2.2 liter Mopars. All the Omnis. Free. But those cars, I mean, talk about underrated. They go through anything.
Which the
Omnis and Horizons. And
did you ever see the guy Gary Donovan? He's got a key car, a 2.2 turbo K car, and he runs in the 9s, quarter mile with that thing. It's crazy. Right on down.
Mm-hmm.
Mark's Racing Sanair is no longer a sanctioned track, and now they have quarter and half mile events. The force owners love the half mile. So I raced at Sanair in 1991. It was with Dale Barlett. That idiot. I qualified him. That race in Sanair got me work. Okay, because I signed on with this guy Dale Barlett, who owned Predator carburetors. So I spent he had just gotten out of the burn unit, and I spent a winter putting the car together, his shop, the car, putting all that shit together, and we went up to Sanair. I forgot the name of the race. It was the only Canadian race, and I got that idiot qualified. So we qualified 15th, right? We had Dale Creasy in the first round. We beat Dale Creasy in the first round, okay? But asshole drove over a cone and knocked the cone into the front of Dale's car, and I ended up having that's a whole nother story. So we get back to the pits, right? And I'm like, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with myself. It's like, wow, okay. And Nick Bonifant. You ever hear of Nick Bonifant? And the U.S. mail car, or Ray Besta's clutches?
Ray Besta's clutches.
Yeah. So Nick comes up to me, okay? I'm sitting in the pit, and I'm still like kind of in shock that we did this, okay? Mm-hmm. And he stuck out his hand, shook my hand. He says, "Congratulations." I says, "What?" He says, "You are the first man that could ever get that asshole qualified." He says, "If you want work, I can get you work." And then from that point forward, for the next 2 or 3 years, he had me bouncing from car to car to car to car to car. Mm-hmm. And I made some decent money, with the nitro cars. But that's my Sanair story, and I'm sticking to it. Rocco is saying silver is currently at 31.33. Okay. Silver is probably going to come back a little bit. I'm seeing 27. I'm seeing 26, 27. I think it'll tickle there, and then it's going to make a run to 50. There's no question. It's baked in the cake.
So buy it at 27 is what you're saying? 26, 27? If it gets that low?
Yeah. I mean, you can buy now. It wouldn't hurt you to buy now because
Mhm.
the long term
It's going to be fit.
projection. Oh, yeah, it'd be 50, no problem. Um, there's a lot. I could spit numbers out that are going to sound really ridiculous, so I won't. Okay, but there's a lot of interesting factors behind silver. Mark Survey, was that at the NHRA national event? It was called the Lee Grand National Molson. Yes, yes. Oh, I forgot. I've told this story before. See,
Go ahead.
now,
You can just Thursday night crowd. These are all newbies. Go ahead.
okay, so I was the first live shot on an NHRA. Okay, and I cursed at the camera. Okay, so you got pictures now, right?
Okay.
All right. So we're set up. Somehow or another, we ended up in the first pairing. Okay, actually, this was against Creasy. So Creasy's in the other lane, right? That's right. We won the first round, got disqualified because he kicked the cone. But so the routine is okay. You pull the cars out of the station lane. You set up behind the water. Okay, there's a funny cross. So the body's up. You get the starter. You starter guy, and you get your squirt bottle. You're going to start this thing. Okay, all right. And you wait for the track starter. You wait for a signal. So what'll happen is, so you're under the hood. You're under the body of the car. You can't really see very much what's going on because here's the engine, here's the body, and the starter is standing where you can see him, the track starter. And you wait for him to give you the signal. We'll go like this, and then the starter spins. You pull a wire, thing lights, and you go. Okay. So this is a paced routine. This is something that it all happens in a very predictable way.
Okay.
All right. So we're the first pair of cars, and they had told us that this event, that one of the talks of the event was that this was going to be a live broadcast. That that NHR was going to do this live broadcasting. I don't care. Nobody really cares. It's a novelty thing, right?
Right.
It's going to be live. So now you got to understand. This is a super high tension moment. Okay. There's nothing relaxed about getting ready to fire in
A nitro car.
car. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this is super high tension, and I've got 1,000 things in my head. Okay. So I'm standing there with the squirt bottle, and I'm waiting. So I'm watching the starter, and he's looking around. He's not paying attention to us, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and there's nothing, right? And I go like this to him, and he's like this, give me a break. What was happening was they were waiting for a commercial break
To
finish before they had us light the cars. I don't know this. Nobody tells me this. Nobody tells anybody this. Okay. And I got asshole sitting in the car sweating and shit. He's like, what's going on? You can't start it until they tell you to start the car.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're really tension. Now we're really freaking stressed out, right? So waiting. I'm watching the starter. He's going like this. He's going like this. I get a tap on my shoulder like this. And I turn around and I go, what the fuck do you want? Okay. It's the camera.
For the first forever
It's
live.
the camera.
Yeah.
Okay. Now there was a delay,
So they could eat.
right. Although I don't know if in some markets it may have gone live, but there was a delay and they were able to
bleep you out.
Yeah. Okay. But that was the very first scene of a live drag strip. Chapman and myself, what the fuck? Oh god. And there's a camera right there in my face. So yes, that was Molson, the Grand National. Jay Russell, only Tony. Bro, I have covered a lot of ground. You don't understand. I've been there, done it. I have seen goats fuck in the marketplace. So it's got a bunch of stories. That's all you got. That's all you got left from it. It's just a bunch of stories and some scars. Justin Billington, that story is almost as good as the hit it with a hammer story. I'm not going to tell that one. I'm not going to keep telling stories. This is supposed to be tech talk tonight. But yes, the hit it with a hammer one was like, you had to be there. Rocco, Tony, have you seen the Oli Express Charger racing in France? I did see video of that. It's very, very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, you take one now.
Well, it's a little slow tonight. They laugh at least once a week. It was Mark Sauvé. That was probably the last year Saint Air had the national event. And then it was leaded race fuel ban in Canada. Saint Air lost the spot to Topeka, Kansas.
I don't know. Like the real 50-inch DLP, not the imitation 50-inch DLP.
The real
48-inch DLP.
Yeah.
My battery died after car sits for a week. What is wrong?
You have a draw or you have an old ass battery.
Yes. There's like a small light is staying on, perhaps, or I don't know. Do you have anything added on to the car? So, you want to tell them how to check for a draw?
Yeah.
Go ahead. You tell them.
Okay. If you know how to use a fluke, I mean, I do it right at the negative battery cable.
What's a fluke? You don't know what a fluke is.
Okay. Or, you just disconnect things, until your draw goes away, and then there's your draw.
What's a fluke?
A fluke is a voltage tester.
Oh, I use a test light.
I know, but you could use you set your voltage tester on amps.
Right.
One lead on, you disconnect the negative cable.
Right.
One lead on there, one lead on the negative battery, and you leave it, and it'll measure, and it'll give you a peak amp draw.
But how can you read that? Like if you're halfway under the dashboard, pulling fuses.
Well, that's if you've already done it, you can't find it in your. What's my draw? Do I have a battery draw? Do I have a bad battery?
All right. Well, I mean, you can use a multimeter. Okay, DVOM. Yeah. But like I said, the problem with that is that you can't watch it. You can't see it unless you're on top of it, unless you can read it, right? So if you're pulling fuses, the battery is like way over there, and you're halfway underneath the dashboard. How can you tell when you find this? So what I do is use a test light, and you take the sharp part of the test light and you jam it into the lead on the post so it stands up, and then you connect the other half of that to the negative battery cable. You do positive too; it doesn't make any difference. If there's a draw, the light will go. So with that, now what you have to do is first thing you do is you eliminate the dome light. Okay, so you make sure you got to hit the dome light button with the door switch because you're gonna be hanging halfway out the door. So you push the dome light button with the door switch button in the door jamb just to make sure that that's not your drawer, and then take the bulb out so you don't have to deal with that afterwards, or any bulbs that are associated with that. And then you start pulling fuses, and you keep pulling fuses until the light goes out. When the light goes out, you found the circuit that your drawer is on. Right?
Yeah. Because it's something that's not normally hot. That's hot.
Yes.
And it's usually like an alternator or it's something on like the older Fords where everything's on a module, wiper motor, stuff like that.
Yeah, you get relays that stick closed and stuff like that. Speed demon has to start with the dome light, process of elimination. Yes. Jake B, using an incandescent test light works well for this. The new LED test lights will stay lit most of the time due to the computers and memory. Yeah. I don't use any of that stuff. Joe K, parasitic draw test. Yes. Or if the test light doesn't quite go up but goes dim. Yes. And generally when that happens, you're going to find that it's a bad alternator.
Yep. The diodes are just leaking down.
Right.
Yeah. Common. Anthony Barber, need help. My stock 1970 Cutlass 350. 4 starts on the initial start, then stalls after about a minute and won't restart.
What ignition is in it? Anthony Barber, what ignition do you have in your 1970 Cutlass 350? And while you're coming up with to respond to that, Old McDonald has a car. If you were born in 1961 and weighed 10 pounds and matching gold in your weight was worth $5,680, if you now weigh 300 pounds and matched in gold, it would be worth $277 billion.
So if you're a fat guy made of gold, you're worth all the money.
I'll bet you, right? See, now on the surface, that doesn't make very much sense, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But I bet you there is some sort of wisdom involved there that, I mean, it's an existential thing, and you've really got to
really get
yes,
one with the gold thing. Anthony Barber says he's got stock points.
Oh, and it won't refire. You probably got a bad coil. You probably got a weak coil. Okay, so if it fires at all, it means and it runs. Okay, it means the points are okay, right? If it's running relatively smooth while it's running, it means that the condenser is probably okay. Check the quality of the spark out of the coil, and you'll probably find you have a very weak spark. Because what happens when a coil goes bad, it'll throw a kind of strongish spark until it gets a little temperature into it, and then the spark will go away to almost nothing. So that'll give you that kind of symptom where you'll fire it up, it'll run okay-ish for 30 seconds, a minute, and then the coil gets some temperature in it, it breaks down, the spark goes away, and it won't restart. So check that. Granddad's Junk says that we're out of control. You know, when somebody named Granddad's Junk says that you're out of control.
So it's bad. It's bad since he's a day ahead of us.
Yeah.
Once for about a minute and just stops. Yeah. Yeah.
Trina Willie, either of you guys ever driven a BMW M car? I have not.
I have.
I've driven an M3 and an M6, not my kind of thing, but it did make me smile. No, I've never driven one.
I am. You have to, with those cars, you have to take the brain out, install the Third Reich. So we are over-engineered and we are smooth and good and we can do things, but we are fat and silly.
The coolest BMW I ever drove was 71, 72, 2002 TII.
Those are hot.
That was a fun car.
Yeah.
My friend Igor had it. Igor used to make dope in his grandmother's. we were 16. We were 16. No, I'm not even going to tell the story.
All right.
I'm not going to tell the story.
That's another day.
Yeah. Let's see. Jay Fish, tell us about Igor. I'll tell you what, if I told you this story, you would say, no, that could not have happened. He's just making this stuff up. So I am going to refrain from the entire Igor episode, which lasted a couple of months. There was a whole thing. Yeah, no. Chris Freemaster, didn't those 2002 Ti have a crazy mechanical fuel injection system? Yes.
Yep.
No, he didn't sell dope from grandma's. He made dope in his grandmother's. They look like spitballs. I mean, these things you would trip for days off of the shit. They look like spitballs, right? That's exactly what they look like. And he made them in his grandmother had a house on Toad Hill. Like it was a mansion, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And Igor was Igor, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we used to call him Igor because he was like a mad scientist. He was always making drugs for us, right?
Right.
So he used to make these things in his grandmother's bathtub. It was a chemical concoction that he spread out and then put this certain type of paper in it, and he was just wearing very thick gloves and whatnot, would make spitballs out of the paper.
Okay.
And for our own consumption, and he would supplement his car
hobby with
right.
with spitball selling. Yeah.
So his next door neighbor was Uncle Paulie. Never mind. Does anybody know who Uncle Paulie is? If you don't know who Uncle Paulie is, I'm not going to say it. But I used to clean his pool. Let's see. Okay, Mark, he just looked up. 1992 was last year. St. Anna hosted an event. Okay, that's probably it was 1991 and 1992 for me. Because 1990, I worked for the Petosa brothers mostly, and then and Jerry Caminito, Bobby Lagana. I just worked for local cars. It was after that event that I used to get. Yeah, Kathy's in there. Kathy's
She's
like,
monitoring. She's
watch
like,
what you say.
tamp it down.
Yes. We're talking about stuff that happened 100 friggin' years ago in a different time in a different place.
Where was she when we had the T-shirt idea?
I don't even remember the T-shirt idea.
Somebody will. We don't.
Kathy, do you remember Igor?
Because she was there, so she's just as much.
No, she wasn't.
No.
No, it was years before I met her.
Oh, okay.
But she remembers Igor.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, kids are watching.
Kids are watching. Yeah.
Yeah, Jokey, the boss has arrived. I was careful. I didn't say, it's like. Where is Tony's chicken fried bacon? Ask Kathy Bananas where my chicken fried bacon is.
She's right there.
She didn't use your middle name. You're okay.
Some days it goes off track. Okay.
Zero saying 100 years ago. Legitimately was. I'm 62, so you're talking about things that happened when I was 15 and 16 years old. That's 1978, right? Yes, everyone is getting their socks. Everybody who ordered a shirt on Sunday, because we had that special, you buy a shirt and you get a free pair of socks and licorice.
Oh, is that what the
That was
last Sunday's promotion?
Yes.
Socks and licorice?
Yes, socks and licorice.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I see Dan says the statute of limitations on making dope and grandma in 19.
Yeah.
Yes. Igor was a trip. Igor was just an absolute trip. And this guy was damaged. And he actually freaked Kathy out.
He's one of those friends where you're like, woo.
See, I'm leaving a lot of stuff out. I have to leave.
Yeah.
I have to leave a lot of stuff out. Okay.
I've heard some of the backstories. Yeah.
All right. So Igor had the 2002 TII,
Mm-hmm.
right? Not the year 2002. It was the model 2002 TII, and he crashed it and got an insurance settlement.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now he didn't have to make dope anymore. He could just buy whatever he wanted. Okay. And over the course of he got like hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is like in the 1970s. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So he blew through the money. Him and his girlfriend Nadine, because now suddenly Igor had a girlfriend.
Oh yeah, suddenly imagine a pile of money brings on. Yeah.
Right. So he decides that since having an accident was the thing to make money, he goes to the, I think it was might have been the outer bridge, it was either the Bayonne Bridge or the outer bridge, and runs up the wrong way up the outer bridge and has a head-on crash. Deliberate.
Mm-hmm.
Has a head-on crash, okay? And it screwed up his brain. You know, like dead. Like
Okay.
dead. Okay, so he was in a coma and everything. And since he was deliberately on the wrong side of the road, there was no settlement.
Get zero.
Of course
Yeah.
not, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, I'm going to say pretty much a vegetable, okay, but not a vegetable. It's a functional vegetable, okay.
He's like a new puppy. He's
like a new puppy. It's good. It's good. I'm not even going to say I can't even say the rest of it because it was pretty hard. He ended up having to go. Oh God! See, there's some things I can't because it's an interesting story, but some things I can't say on YouTube.
Right, because it's YouTube.
Not just because it's YouTube, but because things really shouldn't be talked about or even joked about.
Okay.
So I'm not even gonna. Guys, I'm sorry I started telling that story. Yeah, and Kathy's saying, don't say it. I'm sorry I started telling that story. I didn't realize when I started telling it that it took that turn. I forgot.
Let's go back to tech. Bart Johnson.
Yes.
Bartman69. Rebuilt 750 Holly double pumper on a small block Chevy 327. Whistling in the carb off idle. What's up?
Yeah, sometimes they do that. You probably got. Okay, how big is a cam that's in that thing, Bart? Is it like a low vacuum cam? Because if it's a low vacuum cam, you've got the throttle stop set too high to get it to idle, and so you're pulling a little more air through through the blades than they should. If it's a low vacuum cam and you got to crank up the idle to make it run right. So if that's the case, you want to drill a couple of small holes in those primary blades. That's when you would draw when you see people drill holes in throttle plates. That's when you would do it. That's probably where the whistling noise is coming from. You're flowing. Hey, Daddy, I love your channel.
Okay.
Mike Batista, well, we know the story doesn't have a happy ending. No, it was actually pretty tragic.
Bart Johnson said it's an RV cam ? So not a big.
No, an RV cam wouldn't. An RV cam would definitely not be a low vacuum cam, and if you've got to have the throttle blades cracked that far open, then you've got problems. There's something going on.
Something dirt in the idle circuit or something.
Yes, thank you, Mexican spec. Just eliminate that person. The formula is the UTG shop cat friendly. I mean, I don't have a cat. I'm not a cat person. I don't dislike them. I'm just not a cat person.
It wouldn't be bad out here because you got the woods right here. Keep all the critters out of your stuff.
You know, honestly, that's true. There's a lot of spiders. You look around, there's little spider webs and spider eggs.
Yeah, so a shop cat to clean the place up a little bit. When you could tie a nice rag to its tail and clean the floors.
That's not a good idea.
It's a cat with a Swiffer.
That's really not a good idea. You need a gecko for spiders. Friends H, Dr. Art, have you had to reinforce the Ranger frame for track use? Not with the power he's making. No, it's ridiculous. Many of them seem to crack the frame by the stock mounts, even under normal road use.
But a shock, no. Actually, I had to cut a little bit of the frame off to make everything fit, but it's got a roll bar in it, so that stiffened it up a little bit because it was a little loosey. But no, the only because with its homemade like lift bars in the back and stuff like that, nothing breaks. And it's not I mean, it's not going over bumps. It's pretty much just on flat its whole life. So there's not a whole lot of stress on the shock mounts.
Rocco, life is tragic. Grab some gears and rattle the cosmos. That's deep, bro. That's deep.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. New City Carpet, 10 pounds of air for tomorrow night. I'm enjoying the traction working. No, I'm going to start it. I'll drop it to 20, and we'll make a couple of runs at 20.
I'll just take the air tank and fill
Yeah.
it back up and drive it home. Yeah.
Do you have an air tank? I lent my air tank to somebody, and it's gone.
Yeah.
Okay. Did I lent it to you by any chance?
No.
Okay, I don't know.
No,
I don't know where I lent it to.
I have two. I think I still have two, unless I gave one away. But
Granddad's drunk. Big T, what happened to the young fellow with the poly that you put the bigger carb on to help breathe? That was what was his name from Daddy's Money Garage? Austin. I don't know what happened to those guys. I have no idea. What happened to? Where are they? Do they do anything?
no, they don't do much anymore. He had some stuff go on in his family life, and then
I know his mom passed.
Yeah, and then he recently got married, and so that's the fun kind of stops there.
Okay.
And he got out of making videos, and once you get out of making videos, you don't think about making videos.
It's hard to once you.
Yeah. So he's got just other stuff going on right now.
Bob's Chop Shop. Peg took your tank. Peggy has nothing to do with my tank. Junkyard be doing stuff. That's who he's talking about, the Junkyard Jets. That Austin from the Junkyard Jets. Puddin', yes, Puddin'.
Mm.
Let's see. Old McDonald has a car. Beware of cars for sale in Florida now. Yeah.
Well, that's a normal thing. Anywhere in Florida, Houston, and southern Texas, you look for sand underneath the carpet.
Thunderbird 68. Yeah, making videos is a major commitment.
No shit. Even making I mean, I don't make nearly as much as you do, but what I do, you pretty much stop doing everything else.
You got to be in the zone. Like that's the problem with this business, right? It's like honestly, it takes nothing to shoot a video. Like you pick up a camera, go for however long it is. Done. Video shot. You give it to Kathy. She takes out all the stuff that makes me sound stupid and send it. Okay. That's not the problem. The problem is being in the zone because you've got your imaginary friend that you have to talk to. Because
right, and you have to entertain your imaginary friend with new shit every day.
Yes. And every time you have an idea for a video, it's like constant, like how can I explain it to you? You work out all of the details, all of the points you need to cover, all have to be put in your head and categorized, so like you don't get too far ahead of yourself, or you know what I mean? And it's a zone that you get into. And so when you get out of that zone, oh, please, get in the style. You have no idea how hard it is. There have been times I've been sick and I've taken like 3 or 4 days off. And like you try to get fired up again, and it's like nobody home. It's terrible.
Or you get like you have your intention of making a video about doing X, and then all of a sudden X 20-minute project turns into rusted, broken bullshit things, and then cussing, and then you're just like forget YouTube, and you just get angry, and then the day is over, and you get nothing done.
Yep.
So.
Jake be doing stuff when you go to film while trying to make progress on a project, it gets completely in the way, and I hated doing it. That's why I don't. That's why I don't. I do recaps. You know what I mean? I do recaps. First off, I don't think anybody really wants to see me, turn a wrench.
Correct.
Let me turn a wrench, right?
Yeah.
And the fast forwarding through stuff is my pet peeve. I despise that when I watch somebody doing a video and they fast forward stuff. I'm like, don't do that, right? So I won't do that. But it's better for me to just do what I'm going to do or explain what I'm going to do and then show the result and explain how and why it went then try to make content out of, because that's a stretch. That's a stretch. And I don't want to stretch my stuff. Let's see. Buffalo, ever try flashcards, Tony? I know I would have to stay on target. No, I got it all pretty well cataloged in my head, and if I try to, because we experimented with that when we started doing videos. Where Kathy had a points that I would have to cover. We'd go through that and she'd write it out, and I would get distracted trying to because I know I'm reading like 3 or 4. It's bad, so I'm better off just putting it in my head, cataloging how I want to go about it, and then spit it out.
And if you try to do a recap or history, I'll write it all out, and then it gets painful.
Yes.
And then you redo it, and you have to read, and then look back down, and then you have 1,000 edits to make it smooth. Yeah.
Well, also you realize too that when you write something out, you write differently than you talk.
Yes.
So it's like you'll write out a sentence and you read the sentence to yourself like a script, okay? And it says, "Oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. That's good, right?" And then you go to speak it, and it's like that doesn't
it's
sound
gibberish.
right. It's gibberish, and then it throws you off. No, it's terrible. Rocco says half brothers are cooler than whole brothers. Okay. Spitfire might change back to 4-speed and bottle rocket. Bang, bang, bang. No, I'm getting my rocks off with the stick in Mission Improbable. So that's close enough. That's enough. I think I wheel that thing pretty well.
Mission Impossible? Yeah.
It's fun. It's really fun.
Because you just get rowdy with that shifter. Yeah.
You know what? I probably wouldn't have. Before I started messing with that Jeep, I started watching Dex's Jeeps.
Mm-hmm.
He keeps changing the name of his channel. Just Dex J. He keeps changing the name of his channel. But they have a red, which I got. I'll tell you in a second.
Okay.
They have a red 96 4-cylinder, 5-speed, same transmission.
Mm-hmm.
They hammer the living piss out of this thing constantly.
I watched that video after you told me about it.
You've seen it, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, if they can do that, right?
With big tires and 4-wheel drive, yeah.
Yeah, then I can abuse this thing at the drag strip.
Oh yeah.
And so far it's
been fine.
It's been fine. Jake B, have you owned any Moto Guzzi motorcycles? I have not.
No.
I'm thinking if I ever even rode one, to tell you the truth. I don't think I've ever even ridden one.
It's just the Moto Guzzi. It's fun to say.
Yeah, Moto Guzzi. I've ridden the Honda CXs, which is the Honda version of, front-mounted, V-twin like this. Same configuration with a shaft drive. But I don't think I've ever ridden a Guzzi.
Here's what the formula: Mission Improbable, no prepping with a hard tire ? Does Buffalo Valley do no prep?
No, it's always glued, but not very well.
Yeah, and then you could have a street car, and then a 4x4, and then a slick car, and then
yeah, it gets all tore up. Gary does a nice job prepping that track. The problem with running Mission Improbable at Buffalo is that the starting line is severely uphill. So you have to stage either with so the last time I ran it there, I held the car with the clutch. I held the Jeep with the clutch and then swapped feet, but it was way too aggressive. And I stayed with it and literally spun the tires all the way through the finish. You can watch that video. It never hooked. I banged 2 gears and it just spun all the way to the finish line. And then I tried to launch it with the parking brake. So I was like, okay, I'll just stage it, hold on the parking brake. When I let the clutch loose, I'll let go of the brake and then go for the shifter. But I launched the car and forgot to push the button to detent the. So I ended up making a run with the parking brake on. And it's an uphill track.
Mhm.
So when you go in for ETs, which is really what we're gonna, if you're just making time shots, Buffalo is not the place to do it because it's gonna be 2/10 slower than any other track you go to. And Zero, out of the goodness of his heart, because he has a good heart, and other internal organs are excellent on Zero. He put up the link to your channel.
Which is nice.
That because he's zero.
He's just zero.
He is zero. So Dr. Art's Hot Rod Rehab, go over there, sub to Dr. Art's channel, watch all of his videos, buy his merch, accept his rhetoric and propaganda, and do all of the things, right?
Right, and send his wife some candy in the mail.
Send Erica candy in the mail. She loves the candy that comes in the mail. So what are the stakes in your race? Oh, humiliation.
It's total just smackdown. Yeah, that's all. It's in November, so that's the last race.
Right.
So
We'll have
it'll
no
carry
choice.
over for months.
The loser will have no choice but to sulk through the entire off season.
And it is kind of a tiebreaker, isn't it?
Tiebreaker. I haven't lost.
Because you didn't show up with the electric cart. You
Oh,
said
that's true. I did. I punked. Out. He built this electric cart, and I was going to race him with my mini bike. My 200 Predator swapped 100, right? Which he crashed twice. He flipped it over backwards twice in the space of like 50 feet.
Yeah, it was amazing. It's the best film that ever got filmed.
Launched it into the woods. That was great. I will never forget that. I will live for the rest of my life with the image of the bike going this way, you flying into the woods, you get feet up in the air like this, and weeds and leaves and shit getting thrown up. Oh, it was just epic.
Face hitting the dirt and going away for a second or two and coming back.
Anyway, I was going to race him with his electric cart of death, and I went by his house, and he took it out. He says, "Yeah, I'll show you how it runs." And he goes down the street, and it was like the Jetsons, right? And I was like, I got nothing for that. Not even gonna waste my time. I got nothing for that. So I did punk out on a race with Dr. Art.
Yeah, so it's 1-1, so it's the tiebreaker for.
Yes. Jake, be doing stuff. How much are you spraying on Bottle Rocket? Not all that I can, and more than I need to do the job. Mexican Spec wants to know if your wife is eating male candy. That's worse than Halloween candy.
Well, if someone would mail her some candy, we would find out. Until now, there's been no candy in the mail.
Where should they mail the candy to?
They know where to send it.
Dr. Art's stuff, right?
Yeah, Dr. Art's stuff at gmail.com.
And you'll send them the address?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. So it kind of froze.
It kind of froze.
Yes, but how about swapping cars for the race?
No,
Well,
that wouldn't be any fun.
And a PO box overflowing with candy.
Yeah.
The point being, don't eat something somebody sends you in the mail. That's true. That's true.
I don't know. I've had people send me like Omaha steaks and things like that. And
Well, it's different. They come,
right, I'm not going to get some freehand wrap at home thing.
Right.
She'll be tripping balls for
I made this.
months.
I made this with my feet.
Make this with my feet in my grandma's bathtub. Enjoy it.
Let's see. Someone mails you a hamburger. When we started this channel, I used to mail people slices of pizza. Michael Schmidt, offset crankshaft key. I want to advance retard cam a few degrees. Can you believe an offset cranky is $50? Wow. Oh God. I mean, the last time I bought one, geez. Well, I can't remember the last time I bought one. Like I've got a little drawer of like stuff like that in my garage that is just things that have accumulated.
Miscellaneous in the miscellaneous.
I couldn't imagine spending $50 or something like that.
No. You're better off just buying the cam gear that's degradable, very cheaper.
Okay, but wait, is it a whole set? Okay, is it a set that'll give you like 4 behind, 2 behind, straight up, 2 up, 4 up, like that kind of thing? Because if it is, then that's worth $50 if you've got the range. But if you gotta pay $50 for one, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Firefly says you can buy hamburger in a can. That's the question nobody ever asked. Michael Schmidt, cranky, no, 4 degrees for 1 key, Mr. Gasket. Shit. Why don't you can get the timing set cheaper than that.
Yeah. You can get
the variable timing set.
Yeah, the little gear on the bottom with 10 different settings for cheaper than that. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, look, we're almost out of time.
We are almost out of time. This is the Thursday edition.
Yes.
So we can choose to end it any time we wish.
I believe. Well, yeah. The Thursday edition is no time limit. There's no.
It's
a free for all.
It's a free for all. Yeah. It's no rules.
Anything can happen.
No hold barred. Yeah.
Yes, very well timing gear for a flathead Plymouth. I don't know about that. Carbide Jones says it was fun. Thank you both. Well, thank you, Carbide Jones. That's a cool name. Jake B is thanking us for the content.
You're welcome, sir.
Yes, you're very welcome. Thank you for watching.
Yes.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, of all the choices in the world of people to watch,
you could have chosen anybody, and look, here you are.
Here you are.
You really need to reconsider some of your life choices. Be honest with you. But that's besides the point. Guys, everybody who contributed Super Chat, thank you so much. Greatly appreciated. Never expected, but always appreciated. Everybody contributed your presence in your conversation. Thank you equally. We're eternally in your debt for giving us the views that gets us paid. Our awesome mods, and tonight Ari popped in for a while. I don't know if he's still here. Always good to see Ari. Zero Fubar Mexican Spec, the masters of moderation
in the universe.
Yes, and the universe. Zero with exceptionally good organs. And Boomer saying we were the only game in town. Well, there you go.
You have a choice of one. Here we are. Thank you.
Yes.
Ding ding ding.
All right. So I'm gonna hit the out button.
All right, and then we'll see everybody from the track.
Yeah, tomorrow night we're gonna go to the track. We'll both make runs with, we'll see who goes quicker on Mission Impossible.
I'll just have to get angry with the Jeep, I guess.
Just let me get angry first. All right, guys. See you tomorrow. All right.